Sirens wail across New York City. Emergency broadcasts cut through every channel. The Pentagon's massive screens flicker with impossible readings as hundreds of alien vessels materialize in Earth's orbit. In mission control, technicians stare in horror as all space communications go dark. Military bases worldwide scramble jets that never make it off the ground. Their systems are frozen, locked down by an unseen force. This is the Galactic Council. Earth is now under quarantine. Any attempt to leave your atmosphere will be met with immediate response. This is not a negotiation. The message repeats in every language, on every device, reaching every corner of the planet. Humanity watches helplessly as a shimmering barrier forms around Earth, a translucent shell cutting us off from the stars. But that was 50 years ago. Now we know the truth. They didn't quarantine us to protect themselves. They did it because they discovered something in our DNA, something that terrified them. And they were right to be afraid. 2024. Humanity adapted to life under quarantine. Cities evolved, reaching higher but never beyond the barrier. The shimmering shield became part of daily life, reflecting sunlight in iridescent patterns across our skies. Children grew up wondering what stars really looked like without that ever-present filter. International cooperation reached unprecedented levels. Necessity forced unity. The Unified Earth Council formed in the wake of the quarantine, replacing the old power structures. Countries pooled resources, shared technologies, worked together because we had no other choice. Some called it the golden age of human collaboration. Others saw it as submission. But in underground facilities, hidden from alien surveillance, humanity never stopped working. Teams of scientists studied the barrier tirelessly, probing its weaknesses. Military strategists planned for possibilities no one dared speak aloud. And deep beneath the Himalayas, in a facility known only as Project Phoenix, researchers made a breakthrough that would change everything. They discovered why the aliens were really watching us. It wasn't about containing a primitive species. It was about containing something far more dangerous: human potential. The quarantine wasn't a prison. It was a cage for something the aliens feared could evolve beyond their control. The greatest deception in human history began not with a bang, but with surrender. When the quarantine shield first materialized around Earth in 2024, humanity's initial rage and resistance were genuine. Our missiles bounced harmlessly off the barrier. Our most advanced aircraft couldn't penetrate it. Our communications beyond low Earth orbit went silent. The world watched in horror as our space stations, cut off from resupply, had to be abandoned. But beneath that very real fear and anger, seeds of opportunity were being planted. Within hours of the quarantine, a classified meeting convened in a bunker deep beneath the Swiss Alps. Military leaders, scientists, and government officials from every major nation gathered to form what would become the Strategic Deception Initiative, SDI. They expect us to fight, Admiral Emily Whitlock told the assembled leaders. They expect resistance, denial, anger, all the things they've seen from every species they've encountered. So we'll give them exactly what they expect, and then we'll give them something they've never seen before. Operation Looking Glass launched within days. On the surface, nations bickered and blamed each other for the quarantine. Military forces postured and threatened. The world appeared to be falling into chaos. But underground, humanity united like never before. The Himalayan complex, disguised as a Buddhist monastery, became our quantum computing center. The Australian outback housed vast manufacturing facilities beneath the red earth. The Sahara Desert's shifting sands concealed energy research that would revolutionize physics itself. We staged technological failures. Space programs were publicly shut down while their personnel moved underground. The International Space Station was evacuated with great fanfare and secretly replaced with a more advanced station hidden behind the moon's dark side. Every visible step backward masked 3 hidden steps forward. The aliens watched us struggle with primitive fusion technology while we perfected zero-point energy. They observed our clumsy attempts at quantum computing while we created systems that could outthink their best AI. They monitored our failed attempts to breach the barrier while we studied and replicated its every feature. The key, Dr. James Rodriguez explained to the SDI Council in 2035, isn't just hiding our advances. It's making our regression believable. Every failure must tell a story they expect to see. His team engineered public experiments designed to fail in ways that reinforce the aliens' belief in our technological limitations. The deception reached into every aspect of human civilization. Cities were rebuilt to look more primitive, while incorporating advanced technology in ways alien scans couldn't detect. Schools taught outdated physics publicly, while gifted students learned true universal mechanics in underground classrooms. The internet was deliberately slowed and restricted on the surface, while a quantum network carried humanity's real communications. Perhaps our greatest achievement was Project Chimera, the development of biotechnology that could fool alien bioscanners. Every human on Earth was gradually altered to emit false readings, making us appear less evolved than we actually were. When the aliens scanned us, they saw exactly what they expected: a primitive species struggling to cope with isolation. By 2074, 50 years into the quarantine, humanity had become something unprecedented, a civilization living in two realities. Above ground, we maintained the facade of a regressing species. Below ground, we had surpassed even our wardens in many areas of technology. We had mastered the art of looking backward while leaping forward. The deception wasn't just technological, it was psychological. We understood that the aliens were watching not just our capabilities, but our nature. So we showed them what they wanted to see: a species learning to be peaceful, docile, and content with its limitations. All while our true nature, our drive to expand and evolve, grew stronger in the shadows. The greatest trick, General Maya Fleming told new recruits to the SDI, isn't making them think we're weak. It's making them think they know exactly how weak we are. Every apparent limitation was carefully calculated. Every visible failure was meticulously planned. We weren't just hiding our strength. We were building a comprehensive false identity that would make our true nature invisible. The truth began to emerge on a quiet Tuesday in 2074, when our deep space monitoring stations detected something unprecedented. The quarantine barrier flickered. For 3.8 seconds, the seemingly impenetrable shield wavered, creating a ripple effect visible from every corner of Earth. The aliens hadn't meant for us to notice, but we did. Dr. Emily Fleming, leading quantum researcher at Project Phoenix, discovered why. The barrier wasn't just containing us, it was studying us. Every ripple, every fluctuation was part of an enormous scanning system. The aliens weren't just keeping us in, they were measuring something specific in human DNA. Look at these patterns, Dr. Fleming explained to the Emergency Council. They're not random fluctuations. The barrier is tracking changes in our genetic structure, changes that shouldn't be possible. Her team had discovered that human DNA was evolving at an accelerated rate, adapting to the quantum frequencies of the barrier itself. Further investigation revealed something even more startling. The quarantine wasn't imposed because we were dangerous. It was imposed because we were unique. Among all known species in the galaxy, only humans possess what the aliens called quantum adaptive genetics, the ability to evolve in response to advanced technology. The Galactic Council's own records, secretly accessed through quantum infiltration, told the rest of the story. They had discovered this ability during their first scans of Earth in the early 21st century. While other species' evolution took millions of years, humans could adapt within generations. Our exposure to technology was literally changing our DNA. They're not containing us, Admiral Whitlock announced to the world leaders assembled in the Himalayan complex. They're running an experiment. The barrier isn't a prison. It's a laboratory, and we're the test subjects. The revelation sent shockwaves through the underground facilities. Everything we thought we knew about our situation had to be reevaluated. The truth about our potential emerged piece by piece. Our rapid technological advancement wasn't just due to intelligence. It was driven by an unprecedented biological adaptation. Every generation born under the barrier was subtly different from the last. The changes were microscopic but profound. Enhanced neural pathways, improved energy efficiency, and most importantly, an increasing resonance with quantum fields. Dr. Rodriguez's team made another crucial discovery. The aliens' own technology was based on stable, predictable patterns. But human adaptation was chaotic, unpredictable, and exponentially more powerful. We weren't just learning to use advanced technology, we were evolving beyond it. They're afraid, General Fleming told the Council, not of what we are, but of what we're becoming. The barrier isn't just monitoring us, it's trying to slow down our evolution, but it's having the opposite effect. Every attempt to suppress our advancement is actually accelerating it. The final piece of the puzzle came from an unexpected source. A young researcher named Maya Whitlock, analyzing data from the barrier's quantum fluctuations, discovered that the aliens had tried this before. Other species had shown potential for quantum adaptation, but they'd been quarantined too late. Their evolution had already stabilized. Humans were quarantined at exactly the right moment, or the wrong moment, from the aliens' perspective. We're not their first experiment, Maya explained, but we're their first success. And that terrifies them. The data showed that the Galactic Council had been searching for a species like us for millennia. They wanted to understand quantum adaptive genetics, but now that they'd found it, they didn't know how to control it. The truth changed everything. Our careful deception hadn't just hidden our technological progress. It had masked our biological evolution. While the aliens thought they were containing a potential threat, they were actually cultivating exactly what they feared. A species that could surpass them. The breaking point came in winter 2075. Project Phoenix had finally perfected quantum resonance technology, the ability to match and amplify the barrier's own frequency. In a hidden facility beneath the Antarctic ice, humanity prepared for its most daring move since the quarantine began. For 50 years, they've watched us play weak, Commander Elena Santos addressed the gathered military leaders. Today, we show them who we really are. The plan was audacious. A synchronized global revelation of humanity's true capabilities, designed not just to break the quarantine, but to fundamentally shift the balance of power in the galaxy. The first phase began subtly. Quantum fluctuations in the barrier, previously random, started forming patterns. The aliens noticed, of course, but by their calculations, such manipulation should have been impossible for our primitive technology. They increased their scans, probing for answers, inadvertently providing us with more data about their systems. Then came the demonstrations. In carefully coordinated sequences, human facilities worldwide began powering up their hidden technologies. The energy signatures were unmistakable. Zero-point reactors, quantum computers, gravity manipulation systems, all operating at levels that matched or exceeded alien capabilities. The Galactic Council's response was predictable. They strengthened the barrier, doubled their patrol ships, and prepared for what they assumed would be a futile human rebellion. But we had anticipated every move. Each increase in the barrier's power was met with a corresponding increase in our quantum resonance. We weren't just fighting the barrier. We were using it against them. The barrier doesn't just keep us in, Dr. Fleming explained to the Emergency Council. It connects us to their entire network. Every adjustment they make gives us more access. They build a cage, but we've turned it into a door. Through this connection, humanity began accessing the Galactic Council's secure systems, gathering intelligence about their true capabilities and limitations. The aliens' realization of their mistake came too late. Our quantum adaptive genetics had already incorporated their barrier technology into our own evolution. The children born under quarantine had developed an intuitive understanding of quantum mechanics that surpassed even the aliens' artificial intelligence systems. On March 15, 2075, humanity made its move. In a single synchronized moment, every hidden facility on Earth activated. The barrier, designed to contain us, became a conductor for our combined quantum resonance. The effect was spectacular. The shimmering shield that had imprisoned Earth for 50 years began to pulse with new energy, changing from oppressive restraint to amplifying framework. To the Galactic Council, Commander Sanos's message broadcast across all frequencies, in all languages, including those the aliens thought we couldn't possibly know. Your experiment is complete. The results might surprise you. As she spoke, hundreds of advanced human ships emerged from hidden bases on Earth, the Moon, and Mars, bases the alien scans had never detected. But humanity's true demonstration wasn't military. In orbit above Earth, the barrier began to transform. Instead of containing us, it now extended our reach. The quantum network we had built in secret interfaced perfectly with the alien technology, creating something entirely new, a hybrid system that demonstrated humanity's unique ability to adapt and improve upon even the most advanced alien tech. You quarantined us because you feared our potential, Santos continued. You were right to be afraid, but you made one crucial mistake. You didn't contain our evolution. You accelerated it. Now, let's discuss the future of galactic relations. As equals, the alien response ships arrived in force, expecting to find a primitive species staging a doomed rebellion. Instead, they found a civilization that had not only matched their technology, but had evolved beyond it. Human ships moved in ways their targeting systems couldn't predict. Our quantum communications cut through their most secure channels. Even their most advanced weapons seemed to pass harmlessly through our evolved defenses. The climactic confrontation unfolded in Earth's orbit. The Galactic Council's armada, thousands of ships strong, faced off against humanity's revealed fleet. The tension in space was palpable as both sides assessed their options. Admiral Whitlock's voice cut through the silence. We've studied every weapon in your arsenal, every shield frequency, every tactical pattern. But that's not why you should stand down. As she spoke, hundreds of human ships began a complex dance through space, demonstrating maneuvers that defied known physics. Impossible, the alien commander's transmission crackled. Your species was under constant surveillance. These capabilities cannot exist. The disbelief in his voice masked a deeper emotion, fear. Let me show you what 50 years of evolution looks like, Whitlock responded. At her command, the human fleet executed a synchronized quantum shift. Ships phased through solid matter, appeared in multiple locations simultaneously, and manipulated space-time itself. Each demonstration proved not just technological advancement, but biological adaptation to quantum mechanics. The Galactic Council's representatives watched in stunned silence as their most advanced scanning equipment failed to explain what they were seeing. Human DNA had evolved to interface directly with quantum fields, allowing intuitive control over forces the aliens had spent millennia trying to master through technology alone. You thought isolation would weaken us, Whitlock continued. Instead, it created the perfect evolutionary pressure. Every child born under your barrier grew stronger. Every generation adapted further. We're not just using advanced technology. We've become something your science can't explain. The alien fleet's weapons powered up, a reflexive response to fear. But before they could fire, every system on their ship suddenly spoke in a human voice. Your technology is part of us now. We've evolved beyond the need for external devices. The barrier you built, it's now an extension of our consciousness. To demonstrate, the quantum barrier that had contained Earth began to ripple and transform. It expanded, contracted, and reshaped itself in impossible ways, responding to human thoughts as naturally as breathing. The alien fleet found themselves surrounded by a field of pure quantum energy, controlled not by machines, but by human will. In that moment, the balance of power in the galaxy shifted irreversibly. Humanity hadn't just broken free. We had transcended the very boundaries our wardens sought to impose. In the aftermath of humanity's revelation, a new era of galactic politics emerged. The Galactic Council chambers, once closed to Earth, now hosted regular sessions where human representatives demonstrated our unique perspective on universal laws. Quarantine taught us patience. Ambassador Maria Santos addressed the council. Evolution taught us potential. Now, let us teach you something about partnership. Her words carried weight. Humanity's offer wasn't domination, but collaboration. We had the power to subjugate, but chose a different path. The transformation was profound. Human quantum adaptive genetics became the most studied phenomenon in known space. Our children, born with the ability to interface naturally with quantum fields, began teaching alien scientists new ways to understand reality. Former prison guards became eager students. Earth cities emerged from hiding, revealing their true nature. Quantum architecture reached into the sky. Buildings shifted and flowed with thought, and human consciousness extended through technology in ways that redefined what was possible. The barrier that once contained us became a gateway, connecting Earth to the galaxy through channels of pure quantum energy. But the greatest change wasn't technological, it was philosophical. The aliens had sought to contain what they feared. Humanity showed them a better way: adaptation, evolution, and growth through cooperation rather than control. The quarantine wasn't our prison, Dr. Fleming told a gathering of galactic scientists. It was our chrysalis. And now, she gestured to a group of children casually manipulating quantum fields with their thoughts. We've emerged as something the universe has never seen before. The final irony wasn't lost on anyone. In trying to prevent human evolution, the Galactic Council had created exactly what they sought to avoid: a species that transcended the boundaries between biology and quantum physics. But instead of their worst fears, they found their greatest allies. Earth became a beacon, not of dominance, but of possibility. The species that once feared us now sent their brightest minds to learn from us. The quarantine that was meant to contain us became the catalyst for a galactic renaissance. And somewhere in the vast reaches of space, the next chrysalis awaits.